I am your host, Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror films. Each week, my hosts, Jeff Moore, Crystal Cleveland, and Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. All right, with me this week is Jeff Moore. Jeff, say hello, sir.
Hello, sir. And, you know, Doc, I'm always wondering about these movies because they tend to make me think about things that I never thought about before. Like, ever since we watched this movie, I realize I just don't know what they did with my foreskin.
You know, that's more than I need to know. But, yeah, so we're doing, we should mention real quick now.
That's weird.
Package.
That's really weird because Doc made me send me his, send him mine when I got him.
Share that. All right, also joining us tonight is Crystal Cleveland. She is the living dead girl. Say hello.
What's up, guys?
Are you sucking beer out of Pinhead's head?
Totally.
Totally.
Yeah, my geeky tiki. I love this thing.
Actually,
I like I'll bring on more of them. Let's see. What is Crystal drinking out of tonight?
Ah, there you go. There you go. Well, drink up. Have fun. All right. And, of course, joining us tonight is the one and only Dave Dreher. Dave, how you doing, sir?
Hello, I'm good. Glad to see y'all again.
It is good to see you. I am so glad I get to see you every week now. This is 7 years in the making. And I like this. Yeah, I like it very much. All right. What we're doing tonight is, well, an interesting movie, to say the least. It's an anthology, and it's gory as hell. This is called Scare Package. It is premiering on Shudder June 18th. I'm not going to go through all the directors because this one has 7 directors and it has a whole lot of writers and a whole lot of cast. We're going to talk about the film as a whole. It just really is too much, but it is, it basically takes place, it feels like in the 80s, and it wraps around a story where a young man gets a job at a video store. And another young man, and I use those terms loosely, there's our quotes here, it wants the job more than him, and chaos ensues. And while the chaos ensuing, we see a variety of different stories. Kind of interesting to say the least.
Yes.
It's let's see if we can get the trailer going here. And we'll kind of have it playing as we talk about this a little more, and you'll get an idea about some of the little stories. But let's find out what our first impression of this is. And I have to start with Dave Dreher, because this film just feels like it was made for you.
Very much so.
Let me know, sir, what is your first impression of Scare Package?
Well, I have to tell you, I didn't watch the screener that we were given. Instead, I watched it on Joe Bob last Friday. I wanted to rewatch it again today to refresh myself because there's a lot of stuff in this. This is they're throwing a lot of stories, a lot of different styles at you here, and I really wanted to refresh myself on the film, but alas, that was not able to happen. But my first impression was, and Doc, I believe even on Friday night, I texted you and said, "Oh my God, they're like knocking this out of the park. It's so good." And I think we were on the second little story at that point. Unfortunately for me, it kind of started to drag a little bit after that. This is an anthology of when it's hitting on all cylinders. But when it kind of misses, it misses in equal amounts. So, but overall, I loved the whole packaging. I like how they put this whole thing together. It was an enjoyable watch for me. I had definitely had one segment that for me, they could have ended it after that. And I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later. But my first impression is Scare Package is an impressive foray into anthology films.
I appreciate that because it was quite impressive. I'm going to just say right off the bat. Real quick, I'm going to take a quick break here and just let you know that we are, for those who are listening, we are streaming this live on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, do so. Those who are watching on YouTube, we love having you here. Make sure you subscribe below down here. And yeah, you do it too, Crystal. And and also click the like button so people can find it. And if you want to get notices, click that little bell and set it up. I think you have to set it up now. They changed things to get the notices, but do that. But let's find out what the rest of the crew thought. And we're going to start off with Crystal Cleveland. Crystal, what was your first impression of Scare Package?
So my first question was, how many gallons of blood did they use?
Oh, yes.
Because there's so much blood. I was like, and that's my jam. So I was really happy to see all that blood. I really didn't know much about this going in, so I wasn't really prepared for like a campy good time, but I got it. I definitely a couple of the stories stood out and were my faves, and a couple of them were just okay. I mean, there was a lot to it. It was very meaty. So I think the overall story, what was encompassing it, was pretty good too. I mean, it's funny. They use a lot of horror tropes. I mean, when I saw the freaking Freddy convertible, I kind of got giddy. I was really excited about that. It's silly. It's well done though, and the music. Oh my gosh, that everybody dies and I'm like, I want some of this music. I want to listen to it. I want it in my collection. But yeah, I think I liked it more than Dave. Yeah, for sure. Because I didn't have a problem with it. I could see where he's talking about it. Maybe, I mean, with any anthology, some of the stories are going to be better than the others. But I didn't feel like it dragged. I did watch it twice. So
nice. I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's certainly one I'm going to watch again. We'll get to that in a second. But first, we got to find out what Jeff Moore thought. That's not Jeff Moore. Jeff Moore, what is your first impression of Scare Package?
If only I looked that good. So I watched it like 1.5 times. I tried to watch
middle of the road.
I tried to watch the Joe Bob version and couldn't. I was having problems with it, and so then I watched the screener eventually, and I too like this a lot. I think there wasn't anywhere I said, "Oh, I wish that wasn't in there," but there are 2 or 3 that weren't as big an impact. The rest of them I thought were awesome. I absolutely love Rad Chad.
Yes.
Rad Chad's Horror Emporium
was a great character, and all of the like Crystal said, just all these horror tropes that are pitched all the time. I mean, the character that sets up the horror movie situations, that's his job. He never gets to see what happens. He just has to move on to the next one. And then Rad Chad's Horror Emporium, the One Time in the Woods, that one was great. I just loved all the stuff in there, and that was pretty funny as well. So anyway, yeah, without going through all of them, they were a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I'd heard a lot about this film, and the trailer looks fantastic. So I was eager to watch this, and then I was not able to watch it on Friday night. We had this whole graduation thing, really weird this year, but congratulations to my daughter. So I knew people were reacting strongly to it, and when I first turned it on and watched it finally on the screening, the setup and then the first story, or maybe the first 2 stories, are like, oh man, this is so good. This is so funny. Like you said, the convertible, when the guy pulls away, it's Chad, right? He's got the convertibles all set up like Nightmare. And then suddenly, I'm with Dave. It kind of like, it drug a little. It was
kind
still
of ran out of steam.
It did run out of steam, but it was still interesting. It didn't lose my interest, but I wasn't as excited. The last couple of stories, though, just oh man, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I love the last story. I love the one about the ooze. I think that's the one in the woods.
The woods one.
Yeah.
What was your favorite? Was that your favorite?
Oh yeah.
It might be.
Yeah,
it
that
might
was
be.
all of our. Okay, that was all.
Yeah,
I thought
although I
so.
did enjoy
Yeah.
the serial killer at the end. The whole cabin in the woods serial killer kind of shake up.
Yeah.
I really loved that as well. And I liked the beginning thing and how it wrapped up at the end, bringing him back. Spoilers, but not. Kind of knew that was coming. That was the whole setup. So the whole,
Yep.
I mean, it was. This movie is so much fun. There is a huge cameo in this that we are
we're
not
allowed
we
to
are
talk
not
about.
not only we're not we wouldn't want to even if we weren't allowed. There's a great cameo in this, and it's used to almost perfection. It is perfection. It was
so cute.
Oh man, I wasn't sure about this film, but at the end I fell in love with it. And man, for a year where we're not going to the theater, for out of the 6 months, half the year we haven't been in the theater. And the fear is that we're not going to get good content. I actually think we're discovering that the better content, and I almost don't want to say this, is actually streaming on demand with these kind of films. So fun stuff. So let's get into it. Dave, I gotta find out from you, sir. I would imagine, okay. So I started with you because you love gore, and this film has buckets.
Gore galore, as they say.
Oh yeah.
When did you know you were in for a good time? When did you figure it out?
Yeah, almost. I would definitely that I call it the goo episode. Is that the time in the woods? Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe that's why the rest of it after that seemed a little less effective. But I agree with you, Doc. The last couple episodes were also very strong, but nothing quite compares to the One Time in the Woods.
Well, it's just so funny, that guy, and when he melts and he's just sitting there at his head.
Can you keep your goo separate from my goo?
Oh my god, it's just so funny. And then
it really is. It was really well written, and then the effects were just fantastic.
I mean, even the sophomore gags work. With the falling, into the knife, which got him in the crotch, and that, okay,
yeah,
that's Porky's kind of joke, and it works. It's so funny. Yeah. So,
but I mean, right off the bat, I knew I was going to enjoy it. After that, I thought, "Holy shit, this is going to be a groundbreaker." And then it kind of, like I said, went a little limp there. Ultimately, they redeemed themselves at the end with a strong ending, and overall, as a package, it's above average for sure. But I would say that One Time in the Woods is when I knew that somebody had their shit together on this one.
Yeah. So what the last one was called, The Night He Came Back Again?
Yeah, The Night He Came Again.
The Final Kill. Yeah. That one I loved.
That was good.
We also have Girls' Night Out of Body, which
it was fine. I think it was one of the weak. That was probably, unfortunately, the weakest one for me.
What was the werewolf one? The
Mister.
Yeah, that one didn't strike a chord.
You didn't like Death by Chocolate Bar? Oh my god, that got me. I was like, you win. It's
I think it was supposed to be the silver. It was supposed to be the silver lining on the chocolate bar that killed him. I think.
It was.
Oh no,
chocolates and dogs.
Oh, okay. See, I went with the silver and werewolf. So
so I wasn't sure. So I wasn't sure if it was a chocolate bar or the wrapper. So
no, I thought it was chocolate because chocolate kills. Chocolate kills dogs.
That's not true. My dog ate more Hershey bars than I did and never killed him. So.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to be dark chocolate, but it's still funny.
So Much to Do was interesting, but it was in to have the same kind of. But I think it's suffered by comparison. I don't think anything is bad in this film.
That's a good way of putting it.
It's just that the Night in the Woods, One Time in the Woods, actually, it's just so strong.
It's stellar.
Yeah. It really.
It had a lot of effects too, though. I mean,
tremendous.
There was a lot.
Yeah, because it couldn't have been but maybe 15, 18-minute long segment at the most.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of gags in that.
Mm-hmm. And I really like
the masks. The masks were good.
The masks were good too. I liked Rad Chad's Horror Emporium, the horror hypothesis thing around the edges. I love the whole gag with the door. Don't go in that door.
Yeah, don't go in the door.
And when we finally go in the door, it's such a wonderful, great gag.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. God,
I also loved how those two characters were rolled into the last story the night he
Right.
came home again. It's brilliant. I really want to commend them. That was brilliant. I don't know if I've ever seen that in any other anthology.
Agreed.
Anybody?
No, I think you're right.
I'm mixed up on what we're talking about. So the horror hypothesis was the one with the character that we're not supposed to talk about.
Is that?
Yeah, that group. But it still
Okay.
had Rad Chad and the employee.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it
and the
was
employees
the
in it,
night
right.
he came back home again. Oh, night he came home again. Okay, so I am getting confused. Yes, horror hypothesis is the one with the creature, the serial killer at the end, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
My apologies.
Yes.
Yes, I did get them mixed up. The night he came back again was the one where they had the creature tied up to the chair.
And he won't die.
And he won't
Right.
die.
Creature.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah, thank you, Jeff, for straightening me up. I did like that one though.
I did too.
I'm your
but-
brother.
Yes, but the horror hypothesis is the one. It's like what?
So stupid.
But the horror hypothesis is the one that I really enjoyed that, and at One Time in the Woods are my two favorites. Although the cold open was fun.
It was.
I mean,
Yeah.
It was.
It's hard to hate on this. Okay, so what do you think of the acting, Crystal? What do you think?
I love
was
the
it-
acting. I mean, it was totally over. Well, okay. When I first started watching it, like I said, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't watch the Joe Bob version, which I wish I had been able to catch that, but I wasn't able to catch it. I'm sure he would have explained, what this was about before. But so when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, we got a little overacting here. And then I realized, this is all just a big joke. So it all makes sense as to why you're overacting.
Yeah.
And just a bit. And it should be. It's campy. It's cheesy. It's ridiculous. You can't play that straight very well. It's hard. I think what's interesting about this one versus some of the other ones we've watched is that this isn't completely campy. I think sometimes it gets a little bit more real and a little bit more quiet. Maybe that's why it felt like there was a lull in it at points for y'all. Do you think?
Maybe.
Perhaps?
Maybe.
Yeah, I can buy that. I think that the character you're talking about at the beginning, you really get to understand him by the time he shows up at the babysitter's house, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then, he's responsible for cutting the
Oh wait,
wire.
well, we shouldn't. Why would his Michael Myers? His name's Michael Myers.
Yeah, his name is Michael Myers. Yeah.
I didn't catch that for a while, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
So yeah,
But
that just goes. To show
But
you.
yeah, there was some really good comedy gags with the deaths involving him, so that I really appreciated. Jeff, we give you a hard time, or maybe we celebrate it. I'm not really sure which. Sometimes it's both. The Jeff Moore film, right? Bats of Night, and
I
stuff like
can't
that.
be pigeonholed.
No, we do not want to
can't be
pigeonhole you. So
pigeonholed.
we're looking to expand your horizons here. Where does it? You love this one, right? Does this work for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I thought it was hilarious. I
Yeah.
thought it was hilarious. Well, again, I loved what you guys said. I loved. We got a big lag here, don't we? I love the cold open. Loved Rad Chad. Loved. What was it? Something in the woods. One Time in the Woods.
Yes.
Mr. and Girls' Night Out of Body weren't as much, but they had their moments. The night he came back again, part 5, the final kill. I love that one. That was so tropey. It was awesome. Even down to what the ending of it. So Much to Do was kind of weird, but for me it kind of saved it with that battle at the end of the episode. I thought that
it was
kinda
good.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would
And
go
then
as far as
and then the whole hypothesis was just awesome. I thought it was sort of like their little short version of Scream almost.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
And the fact that he shaved his head.
Mentioned it.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
my
yes.
god.
The whole no, that was Corey
Wait
Haim.
a minute, I gotta split.
Like, no, dude, no. There's a whole lot of stuff. I would say that even what made we keep calling them low moments, and I almost feel bad because somewhere else they wouldn't be. but the
Right.
characters themselves, the actors playing the roles, really carried those films more than the effects did in the other ones. Like, you know, the I call it the Goose Story, but it's the One Time Out of the Woods. The effects are just so amazing, and it's so funny. And then at the end, there's literally body parts flying everywhere, and a whole gaggle of people die in rapid succession. Some of them quite violently. We get a male version.
Oh yeah, a ripping of it. Yeah, the Terrifier.
Yes, Terrifier.
Yeah. It's so hot right now, apparently.
It's the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Exciting thing. If you didn't catch it on Joe Bob Friday night, this past Friday, it is now available on Shudder starting on June 18th.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow as we're recording, today as you're hearing this, or yesterday if you're listening, it's on Friday. If you're listening to it later, it was sometime.
Or 6 months ago if you're listening to it in November.
But yeah, great, man. All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts, our score, and oh my God, our favorite scene for Scare Package. And Dave, sir, you are up first.
Well, I think we're all going to be pretty much in agreement here. This is a really fun anthology film. It's really hard to fault it. I pretty much liked it all the way around. Like I said, it does seem to lag a little bit in the center for me. It's very meta. I think that's isn't that the cool word for what
it is the cool word? Yeah,
yeah. And I appreciate that. I mean, I really do. It it was well thought out and very well written. It's hard to talk about it too much because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who might watch it. But I'm going to give it a real solid 3.75. My favorite scene, I don't know. There was so much blood, and it would definitely be somewhere in the Gooey Woods episode. But to bring it down to just one specific scene, I don't know, but I really enjoyed it after when our first victim, I guess he would be, has melted into the ground, and he's just there like quipping things left and right, like it's just I'm not going to be able to nail it down to any one specific scene, but that's the episode to watch. Make sure you watch. What's it called? One Time in the Woods.
One Time in the Woods.
Yeah, One Time in the Woods.
That's the second story. So while you're at it, just watch the rest.
Yeah. And the last episode's great, and the cameo that we hinted at is definitely worth your time. So yeah, good movie. It was a lot of fun. I love the artwork too. I love the artwork too, by the way.
Cover. Yeah, it feels very
promotional art, very good.
Yeah, very, very VHS promo kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Crystal Cleveland, you're up next. What is your final thoughts? Your score, favorite scene for Scare Package?
Clearly, you need to see this. You should have Shudder, and if you don't have Shudder, get Shudder. I mean, what are you doing with your life if you don't have Shudder? It's a thing.
I like that.
It's a thing. So definitely watch it. I'm giving it a 4, and I'm going to. I mean, there's so much good gore, and typically that's where I go, but this one scene just got me, and it was the treadmill scene. Is ridiculous. It was just so funny to me how he's going so slow and she's going so fast, and he caught up. I mean, it's ridiculous. You just have to watch it. I don't want to give it away, but
that's a good one.
It's funny.
Yeah. Cabin Woods.
And they're like, how does this happen? How?
Perfect. All right, Jeff Moore, you're up next. What is your final thought, score, favorite scene, Scare Package?
Yeah, this is a welcome anthology. I'm trying to think if we've had a really one this good for a while. And I started out thinking 3.75, but as I'm thinking about it, even the slow ones had some good scenes and bits in them. So I'm gonna go 4 with Crystal. Favorite scene, I'm gonna take when the Devil's Lake Impaler, which was
is that his name?
Horror. Yeah, the Devil's Lake Impaler.
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
And he impales the hell out of everybody. But when he puts a fist through the guy's head, I won't say.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was a great.
Oh yeah, man, I forgot about that. That was awesome. Yes. Yeah, for me, I loved this. I loved it. I was, like I said, I really got into it. The first couple stories maybe it lost me a little, but at the end, I loved it. And the cameo seals the deal. If I wasn't already loving it, I'm surprised, Dave. I thought you liked it more. I'm giving it a 4.5. This is going to be high on my list of favorites.
See, I don't think it'll be top 10 for me. I
do. 10. I think the Goose story. The
Goose story was great, but yeah.
Alone. I like the whole idea that they have that silver stops the transformation. But it doesn't revert it; it just stops it. And the one guy has handcuffs, and they're like, "Well, why does he have handcuffs?" And then there's a whole gag, right? And they're like, "Oh my god!" So
handcuffs aren't made of silver.
Well,
sorry,
some of them are. Yep. Yep,
it's true.
So my favorite scene is now going to be hard to do because Dave literally took my favorite scene because that guy, the whole head talking was.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was the most brilliant thing ever. And that's why that alone almost was why the rest of it drug. But I'm okay. So I'm going to go with the whole reveal of getting hit in the back of the head and waking up and there's all these other people. I did not expect that. I did not expect our wraparound story to get fully embedded into the final movie, right?
Right.
And it kind of elevates this above most all of the other anthologies and makes it, in my opinion, a superior anthology because it's...
Well, didn't like Cat's Eye do something like that? Was it Cat's Eye? The one with
maybe. I mean, there might be.
It's always a good thing to do.
Yeah, but this one I think did it in spectacular fashion, and then it ended bringing back the original. And so, it's like there's a wraparound around the wraparound. How did they do that? And, so I love the idea that, some of the pieces are more ingrained. And I think that's why the ones that aren't as ingrained maybe fall a little shorter, that we're noticing the difference is that, they're not so, they don't have, and it all, well, I'm rambling. I'm just going to stop there. I love this. And I think you should watch it. All right. That is our review of Scare Package. It's an anthology film playing on Shudder starting June 18th. So you check it out. If you like it or you didn't like it, or you have something to say about anything, leave some comments down below or email us at Gruesome Magazine. You can do that at feedback@Gruesome Magazine, or you can find our Facebook group any way you want to do it, or go to Gruesome Magazine and comment there. Any way you want to do it. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what you think. And yeah. The easiest way to help us is let other people know. If you like what you're hearing here, you like what you're seeing, share it with others. And that's a huge help for us. So we hope you can. We hope you like it. So with that, I'm stalling. So I'm trying to find the right button.
I'm like, oh.
With that,
button.
I want to thank you guys for joining me, and that would be Dave Dreyer, Crystal Cleveland, and Jeff Moore. Thank you so much for being here. This was so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.